very gradually sped up, and so I'm walking under it, and then I'm jogging underneath it, and then I'm running underneath it, and I yell, "Wait, come back." I yell that like I meant it, because I meant it. And as it went off, it didn't stay on the road. It veered off slightly to the left over a neighborhood. So I knew I couldn't catch up with it. I would have had to run 3 minutes back to get my car. But as it went, I could see that it had white lights stacked 4 high all around the outside. Maybe like 6 lights across and 4 high. I didn't count the number of lights side to side, but again, I had just had a UFO like accost me on the road, and been released from its hypnosis or whatnot or whatever. So the last thing I was thinking about was, I shall count the lights, so. And then I watched it as it disappeared over the tree line, and it was gone. And after it was gone, I was like, well, that wasn't scary, and I'm not concerned, so whatever. So I walked home, and I remember walking in the door and looking at the clock, and I was in a relationship at the time, and that's just what strikes me as unusual, is I don't remember whether or not anyone was there. So that's all I remember. So I mentioned that to my mentor, and the reason I'm not naming my mentor is I used the word occult, and he didn't like that word, which is fine. I mean, I've developed hang-ups myself, where if I'm going to, have a friendship or a relationship with somebody, or try to teach them and help them, that I'm going to try to, encourage them to do certain things that I think will help, and that's what he was doing. So, fair enough. So he invited me to his home, his second home. He had a few. He's pretty well off. And it was in a rural area. I don't want to say where it is. I think I have before, but I try to respect people's privacy. So we're sitting out in his yard and talking about we got a fire going. We're talking about the UFO experience that I just had. And he tells me about, what he's seen. And then this really, really bright star, quote unquote star, bright light, is going across the sky. And I think I probably just was like, hey, look at that, oh, I hope it comes down here, I probably gestured for it, hey, and it did. It came down to the end of the yard, and it didn't stop. It slowed down dramatically, and all we could see was light. And I think he had I think it made him really nervous for some reason. I don't know if he had ever actually seen a UFO before or not. But the one other notable thing about, two other notable things about that weekend hanging out with him was the next morning there was a bug on the window. There was just a very unique looking bug, and with the idea of zoom in, zoom out, and macrocosm, microcosm, and just the nature of some things to change their form, like water can change its form, right? It'll fill the shape of whatever you put it in, just like gas will do. And I said to him, yeah, that looks, I said that bug could be the UFO we saw last night. And I think there was a storm coming, so we had to get out of there. And I guess that was the only. We went out there one more time, and nothing like that happened. But that was an interesting period of time. That was the 2008, and I've written about that. And at the 2014, either 2013 or 2014 UFO festival in Exeter, I attended, and the speakers were fine for a layman with an interest in the topic, kind of like a tourist. If you're a tourist to the idea, or if you've got like first-hand experience and you want to go and network with other people, it's probably good for that. So if you guys want to go to the UFO festival in Exeter, New Hampshire this year, it'd be cool to meet you guys. I don't know when it is exactly. It's usually in October, but you can look it up. Exeter, New Hampshire UFO Festival. On the piece of paper that I handed out to everyone was my experience, and also something that makes me uniquely qualified is that I've known Dan Brown. He's a local author. He wrote The Da Vinci Code and The Lost Symbol and Inferno, Angels and Demons, and a couple other books, Deception Point, and whatever, And I met him in 1993 when he started working with my mom at the local school in Hampton Falls. And he had just come back from Hollywood. And right off the bat, I didn't like this guy. I don't think he liked me either. I was pretty rude to him. But right off the from day one of him being around, and he was around a lot. As soon as he came into the picture, he was over every weekend. And I don't want to trash talk my birth family right now, but when he came around, it was like, John, scrub the floor, Dan's coming over. So that was like every Friday night and some other nights,